A new open source model just dropped. It is called Ornith 1.0. And when I first saw it, I thought, okay, another local coding model. We have seen 100 of these. But the more I tested it on my own machine, the more I realized this thing is doing something that no other local model is doing right now. It is writing its own playbook. And that changes everything about how small models can compete with the big ones. So I'm going to install it, test it, and show you exactly what happened, the good and the bad. And by the way, if you want to keep up with open source AI releases like this, subscribe to the channel. It really does help. Thank you in advance. Alright, so let me show you what Ornith actually is. It is a family of open source models from a team called Deep Reinforce AI. They just dropped, and you can get it for free on Hugging Face, MIT licensed. You can use it for commercial projects if you want, no strings attached. Now it comes in 4 sizes: 9 billion parameters, 31 billion, 35 billion, and a massive 397 billion. But for this video, we are running the 9 billion version. And honestly, there is so much happening in the small model space right now. I think one of the most exciting futures in AI is not just bigger models in the cloud. It is specialized small models that are truly capable at their own tasks. And Ornith is a perfect example of that. Okay, so here is the part that actually got me interested. And this is where Ornith is genuinely different from every other local model I have tested. Most AI coding models come with a fixed set of instructions. Think of it like a playbook. Someone on the team writes the playbook by hand and the model just follows it. Here is how to approach a coding problem. Here is how to use tools. Here is how to handle errors. That playbook is called a harness or a scaffold. And up until now, every single model has relied on humans to write that scaffold. Ornith does something different. It learns to write its own scaffold. They call this self-scaffolding. And here is how it works in plain terms. Step 1. The model looks at a task and proposes its own game plan for how to approach it. Step 2. It uses that game plan to actually solve the task. Then the result gets scored, and that score feeds back to improve both the plan and the execution. So the model is getting better at two things at the same time: better at solving problems and better at building the strategy that helps it solve problems. Over thousands of training steps, this creates a feedback loop where the model keeps evolving smarter strategies without any human designing them. And this is exactly why a 9 billion parameter model is beating models 3 to 4 times its size on benchmarks. It is not just bigger, it is smarter about how it thinks. And there is an interesting way to think about this. If you were around in 2025 when MCP changed how models interact with tools, self-scaffolding could be the next version of that shift. Instead of engineers writing orchestration layers and framework pipelines by hand, the model learns to write them itself. Some people are already calling harnesses the MCP of 2026. And honestly, I think that comparison makes sense. Now let me quickly run through the benchmarks because I know people want to see numbers. I am not going to harp on about these, but they are worth seeing. On SWE Bench Verified, which is the industry standard for testing whether an AI can fix real GitHub issues, Ornith 9B scores 69.4. For context, Gemma 431B, a model more than 3 times bigger, scores 52. That is a significant gap. On Terminal Bench 2.1, which tests terminal-based coding agents, Ornith 9B scores 43.1. Gemma 431B scores 42.1. Again, the smaller model wins. And the flagship model, the 397 billion version, scores 82.4 on SWE Bench Verified. Claude Opus 4.7 scores 80.8. An open source model matching a frontier closed model on a real coding benchmark. That does not happen often. But look, benchmarks are benchmarks, and there is always a fair question to ask. How much of this performance is real generalization, and how much of it is just models being optimized to do well on specific tests? That is a valid concern with any model release. So instead of debating numbers, let me actually test this thing and see what happens in the real world. Okay, so here is exactly how to set this up because it takes about 5 minutes. Download LM Studio from lmstudio.ai. It is free, works on Windows, Mac and Linux. Open it up, click the search icon. Search for Ornith 1.0. You will see two official models from Deep Reinforce-AI. The 9B version, which has about 1,800 downloads already, and the 35B version, which has over 3,000 downloads. The 35B is 21 gigabytes, so unless you have a serious machine, skip that one. Go with the 9B. Click on it and download the Q4KM quantization. That is the compressed version. Uses about 6 gigabytes of RAM. Fits on basically any modern machine. If you have a GPU and want to try the bigger model, the 35B is there, but you are going to need at least 24 gigabytes of RAM or a machine with 64 gigabytes of RAM to run it on CPU. Once it downloads, go to the developer tab and load the model. Wait for the green ready status. Ornith is now running as a local API on your machine at localhost port 1234. Now open VS Code. Install the Continue extension from the marketplace. Open your Continue config and add a new model entry. Set the provider to OpenAI. Model name Ornith-1.0-9b. API base HTTP :/127.0.0.1:1234/v1. API key, just set it to lm-studio. Save the file, open continue. Select local Ornith 9b from the dropdown. And from this point on, everything runs locally on your machine. Nothing goes to the internet. Nothing leaves your computer. You can turn off your Wi-Fi and it still works. Now, is it as good as the best cloud models? No. And I am going to be honest about that in a second. But the fact that you can even have this conversation, that a 9 billion parameter open source model can build working applications from single prompts running on a machine with no GPU, that was not possible a year ago. Okay, so let me show you what happened when I actually tested it. I gave it one prompt. Build me an interactive periodic table of AI models as a single HTML file. Dark theme, a 4x4 grid with 16 models. Color code them green for open source and red for closed. Clicking any cell should show a pop-up with the maker, parameter count, and open or closed status. The first thing you notice is the thinking chain. Ornith does not just start writing code immediately. It plans first. You can see it working through the logic inside continue. It is figuring out which models are open source, how to structure the data, how to build the pop-up, how to handle the grid layout. On my CPU only machine, that thinking process took about 3.5 minutes. Then it wrote the HTML file. But when I opened it in the browser, the grid was empty. Just the title and the legend showed up. The code got truncated during generation, so I gave it a follow-up prompt asking it to complete the missing parts. It thought for another 38 seconds and filled in the rest. Second attempt. I opened it again, and this time we have a full 4x4 grid. All 16 models. Color-coded. Green borders for open source. Red borders for closed. Click any cell and you get a pop-up with the details. Hover effects work. The layout is clean. The CSS is solid. The JavaScript is functional. And most of the data is actually accurate. It got GPT-4o, Claude, Llama, Mistral, Phi, all correct. But there are a few things it got wrong. If you click on Ornith itself, the pop-up says Maker OpenAI. Parameters 500 billion plus. Status closed. None of that is right. Ornith is made by Deep Reinforce AI. It is open source and the version we are running is 9 billion parameters. The model does not even know who built it, which honestly is kind of funny. But here is the thing. For a 9 billion parameter model running locally on a CPU with no internet access, getting most of the data right and building a fully working interactive application from a single prompt, that is honestly impressive. You just need to know that the code is the strong part. The factual data is the part you should always double check. So here is what I want you to take away from this video. A year ago, running a capable coding model locally was either impossible or required hardware most people could not afford. Today you have Ornith running for free on a normal machine. You have LM Studio to run it. You have Continue to plug it into VS Code. All open source, all free, all on your machine. Nothing leaves your computer. That stack did not exist 12 months ago and it is only getting better. Whether Ornith becomes your daily driver or not, the fact that this option exists means you are not locked into any single provider. You have a choice. And in a world where AI is becoming infrastructure for how we all work, having that choice is everything. Links to everything are in the description. Go try it and let me know what you build with it in the comments. If this was useful, subscribe. I cover new open source tool and model releases every week. See you in the next one. Take care.